Okay, Lion, it's time to get out of the way. We gotta start the video now. Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Someone Artistic Human, and today we're going to be looking at some craft kits that I found at Walmart. So we've got like this unicorn dream catcher, these weird scribble scrubbies. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I'm intrigued, you know. And then these glitter dots kit. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get started, and we're gonna start with the glitter dots kit. So here's what the front of the box looks like. It says glitter with less mess, and I just don't see how that's possible. Glitter is one of the most messy things in this world. I don't think it's possible to use glitter without making a mess, but we're gonna see. So here's the back of the box, and this kit allows you to make 3 keychain glitter thingies. So let's open this box up and see what we get inside. So here's everything. We get like 3 templates, the glitter dots and the keychain stuff, and the instructions, which I'm struggling to open. Here we go. This is what they look like. Oh, hey Rosie. And now I'm gonna go ahead and pick which template I want to use. So I think I'm gonna start off with this llama. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up and we'll get started. So let's start by pulling out some of the glitter dots. At first I thought you were supposed to like break apart the package, but it appears that you just pull down on the back on the strip behind the color that you want. So let's go ahead and do that. So it is pretty squishy, but why am I squishing it like that? Why? Ugh. Anyways, let's try and put it in this ear spot. So the glitter dot is pretty big, so I did have to break it apart to get it to fit in this small space, which is interesting. Yeah, so I just like squished it in and had to break it apart even more to get it in the other ear. But it seems to work pretty well so far. It does seem to be a little bit hard to get it to stick in the actual frame and not to my fingers, but we'll see how it goes as I'm doing more. So I'm just gonna keep going with this pink for the rest of the fleshy parts. Fleshy parts? That's gross. I don't like that. For the rest of the skin of the llama. And then I'm gonna use some gold for the stars and for this little horseshoe thing. And then I wanted it to be a rainbow llama, so I just used all the different colors that I had to make it rainbow. Excuse my cats. And then after I was done putting in all the glitter, it's time to put this little lid on, which was really difficult to get on because the glitter stuck up in a lot of places too much, so I had to go back through and scrape a whole bunch out, and it was pretty annoying. But here's the finished product. As you can see, there's a lot of contamination going on with different colors. And also, like when you tilt it up, you can see the crevices and stuff. It's really hard to get it filled in all the way, no matter how much glitter you put in there. So that's kind of annoying. This one looks pretty crazy, and that's my fault for using so many different colors. It's not very easy to blend the glitters together, so it didn't look exactly how I wanted. But I feel like we should test out the full kit to make sure that there's enough glitter for all of the projects and make sure, like, and just really see what the full kit is like. I don't want to give you a review after just doing one project. So here's the second one, which is the narwhal. So I just mixed the different blues together and used pink and purple in the rainbow and gold for the stars and crown, and horn, not crown. And then here's the fox, which I had to just work with what I had left for the fox, which wasn't a whole lot. So this one ended up being kind of weird looking, so I used pink for most of the fur, and then purple for the tail, because I ran out of pink, and then blue for the mouth and the white, what would normally be white on a fox. So there's that. I did end up using all of the glitter dots for the project, so you really do need, you're gonna use every last one, but there is enough to finish all of it, so that's good to know. But as you can see, there is no mess. There's a lot of glitter everywhere, and it was hard to clean up because it was sticky glitter, so it didn't just come off right away. It was almost worse than normal glitter. There was a lot less than there normally would have been, but there's still a lot of glitter. And this project also allows you to make these into keychains, but I didn't really want to do that because I knew I probably wouldn't use them, so I'm just going to save this stuff for something else if I ever want to use it. So I guess I would give this kit a like 5 out of 10, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of fun, but my fingers hurt after a while pushing all that glitter in there and trying to get it in there nice and neat and with no cracks and crevices. I don't know. This kit was okay, but it wasn't my favorite, and it didn't do exactly what it said with the no mess. Anyways, let's move on to this unicorn kit, which looks very, very cute. I love all the colors, so let's take a look at this box. So here's the front and back, and let's just open it up and see what's inside. So we got our instructions, and we got lots of little felt pieces, and some yarn, embroidery hoop, some beads, and some floof, and some embroidery floss. So this kit does come with quite a bit of stuff, so let's see how it goes making it. So the first step for this one is to cut the string about a foot long, or 11, I think it was like 11 and a half inches, which I don't know why I measured it like this, but I don't think I measured it right. I don't know what was going through my head, but as long as they're all the same length, I guess it doesn't really matter. But you needed 6 of each color, so I just measured the first one and then laid out the string to about the same length and cut it, because I wasn't worried about it being exactly the same length, because it's just going to be tied on to the hoop at the end. So after I was done cutting all of those up, the next step was to wrap the hoop in the rest of the pink string. So you're supposed to just kind of lay it out so that you're wrapping over the end of the string so it stays on. And this took a really, really long time to wrap the whole hoop and make it like tight and even all the way throughout. So that was fun. I think it took like a good 20 minutes to a half hour just to do this one step. And then it said you're supposed to take the end and just like tuck it in underneath, but that seemed kind of difficult and I didn't want to. So I just took my hot glue gun and glued it down because I knew it would be covered later with this other yarn strands. So there's that done. And then it said to take this embroidery floss and split the threads and just have 3 strands instead of how it is. But I was feeling kind of lazy and I didn't want to split it up, so I just left it how it is because I didn't feel like it really mattered too much for this process. But then you're supposed to tie it onto the bottom of the hoop. I've never made a Dreamcatcher before, but this was really hard for my brain to understand how to make it. The instructions were kind of confusing to me, but I eventually did figure it out. But it said that you want to wrap the string around like every 3 inches. So you just kind of wrap it around and then tuck it back underneath itself to get it to stay in place. And you do that all the way around the hoop, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And then you kind of just do the same thing over and over again, but going in through the strings instead of around the hoop. So this was really interesting to learn, and it was like it was kind of hard for me to understand the instructions, so I wish it was a little bit more clear, but I really don't know how they could have made it more clear. So like I don't feel like it's a fault on their end. I think that I'm just not good at understanding instructions. I know I definitely didn't do this quite right, but I got something similar to what they had on the box, so I just kind of left it like that, especially when I got towards the middle. It kind of became really chaotic. But yeah, so this is what I ended up with. Like I said, the middle is kind of weird, but we're just going to go with it because that's what I could do. So after I got to the middle, I ended up just tying it off in a knot and leaving it like that. And then it said to take the beads and just tie them on, which I thought was interesting. So I took 3 of the pearls and tied them on in random spots on there. So there are those. And that's the best I could make that look. I'm not sure how they made it look not weird with the ends coming out. And then the next step is to make the ears. So you're supposed to take this white triangle and glue the pink triangle with a hot glue gun to it. Which I didn't see anywhere on the box saying that you'll need a hot glue gun. Like, I feel like it should have been more obvious on the outside of the box that you're going to need a hot glue gun, because that's an important thing to know when you're getting a craft kit. Like, it'd be annoying to get this home and then not have a glue gun ready. But yeah, anyways. And then it says to put a little dollop of glue in the middle and then pinch it so that the ears are kind of folded a bit and not just flat. So I did that with both of them. And then for the horn, you're supposed to fold one end and then glue it to the other side, which is really tricky, so I did that off camera. But here is what that looks like when it's done. And then you're supposed to use the sewing needle and sew on this thread, but I was feeling really lazy and I was kind of uninspired by this project, to be honest, so I just hot glued it on because I didn't feel like sewing. It just felt like a lot of work. And then I really would have to split the embroidery thread, and like I said earlier, I just didn't want to, so I didn't. But then I strung on those 3 beads and wrapped the string around the horn 3 times and glued it up at the top. And I kind of folded over the tip of the horn because it looked a little weird and I thought it looked better more folded over. But after I got all that done, I glued the 3 beads in place so that the yarn would stay spiraled around the horn. And then I went ahead and stuffed it with the stuffing that it came with, which it came with like a lot of stuffing for just using it for this horn, which I'm not mad about because I'll probably use it with another project, but you know, you really didn't need a whole lot. And then, because I was feeling lazy, like I said earlier, I just put some hot glue in the middle and then folded over the bottom of the horn, using hot glue again where I needed it to seal it off at the end. And then, after all that was finally done, it's time to attach it to the dream catcher. So I decided where I wanted it and just kind of plopped it down and then secured it with hot glue. Now it's time for the ears, which I cut like so that they would be flat and not curved at the ends, so they go on a little bit easier. And then again, just took my hot glue to glue it on. And then I glued on the other one. And now it's time to make the little flowers that go around the horn and ears. So this first one is pretty easy. All you have to do is use your hot glue again to glue the 2 ends together. And then I just put a little piece of hot glue on the one end. Then I just took it and rolled it together and put a little more hot glue at the bottom to secure it. And there's that flower done. So now we gotta make another one real quick. And now time for the mint flowers. So for this one, it tells you to cut it in 2 pieces. So I went ahead and did that. And then you're supposed to just roll it together to make these pretty flowers. And I ended up covering the full bottom in hot glue to make sure that it would stay together. And the white flowers are the same. These ones, it didn't say to cut in half, so it made a really big flower, so I ended up using the other one to make 2 flowers instead of just 1. So I had more flowers than what the box has. Yeah, now that we have all the flowers, we can go ahead and just stick them wherever we want to on the unicorn. And then it's time to tie on the yarn at the bottom. So you just do that by pulling it through itself. So here I go doing that. So that's the last step for this project, and now it's all done. So here's a closer look at it. So what would I rate this one? I feel like I was able to get a product really close to what the box looked like, but honestly that was kind of the problem for me. I wanted to be able to be more creative and make more of my own thing. This is really cute. I think it's pretty adorable, and the instructions were clear enough to follow, and for the most part, besides the string thingy that was really confusing for me. But it was, the kit is a good kit. You get exactly what you paid for. But I just felt so uninspired, and I really wanted to be able to be more creative. I didn't like having to just follow the instructions exactly how it laid it out. So honestly, this was probably my least favorite kit to do, but it definitely had the best results of the video. So now on to the last kit of the day. So this is a Scribble Scrubby kit. I don't know if you'd consider this an art kit, but I saw this cat whose name is apparently Fiona. On the back it tells us. And I just decided that I needed that cat, and I had to figure out what this thing was. So I bought this one to just mainly for this cat, which I have plans for in the future, in case you're wondering. It also comes with this other floofy cat, so that's fun too. I also was curious if these markers are truly washable and if they'll actually come off, because I feel like they're gonna probably stain the fur more than really come off all the way. So I was just curious, so that's why I got this one. So let's go ahead and just decorate these kitty cats. So there's the first one done, and let's move on to our other long noodle friend. I just think she's so interesting and weird. Why is she shaped like this? So here are our two cats all markered up. I didn't do like some really thick areas, which I regret not doing because I feel like that's how a kid would probably play with them, you know? Like coloring more areas instead of doing little designs like I did. But anyways, let's do this test and see if the marker really comes off, which it did, to my surprise, for the most part come off. The purple seemed to stain more than other colors, which is interesting. Here's my attempt to like try seeing what a bigger area would do, but because I did it like and then washed it off almost immediately, it didn't really have an effect on it. But yeah, they came clean pretty well except for the purple. Like you can still see that there's some on this cat's chest and on the tail and some pink in the ears, it looks like. It came off a lot better than I thought it would, but eventually I think these would be pretty stained up. So, yeah, there's that. I don't really know what else to say about it. It was kind of fun to color on them, I will say. I think I would have enjoyed this a lot as a kid. I think it would have been really fun. But anyways, that's all we're gonna do for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed watching me make all these random craft kits. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed and maybe checked out some of my other videos. But that's gonna be it for this week, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.